はり、園崎家は今でも北条家が嫌いなのですか?
How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 7. As you can see, we're really jumping into some plot here, or at least some background, trying to get our story straight, if anything. I don't know if Mion will actually say anything. Shion might. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious too. Do they? Do they really? And what happened in the last episode? Good question, Michael. Yeah, so we actually, the whole gang went and made an appeal to the Child Consultation Center. Something I didn't even think of doing, or at least I don't think I did back in Chapter 3. Which is smart. I mean, if you're upset about something, following the rules means, you know, speaking up about it. And that's exactly what they did. They stated their perspective, which I think was a good thing to do. All in all, will it do anything? Probably not, but at least it was a step in the proper direction, and maybe something could, you know, maybe it's like a moving piece. We're slowly but surely moving our chess pieces in the right direction, but it's not yet a winning move.
嫌いだって公言してる人はいないよ。でも、根深いみたいだね。
No, we might be getting some honesty here.
というか、ばあさんが北条嫌いの筆頭ですし、頭の中、いつまでダム戦争やってるってんですか。死守同盟が解散して何年経ってるんです。
しーちゃんやめなよ。さとこちゃんはさとこちゃんだよ。私たちの大切な仲間。名字が何かなんて関係ないよ。
Shion went quiet, and there was silence for a while. Rena was right. Just like how Satoko's last name doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what Mion's last name is either. The important thing is that our friend is being abused right now. We'd have to do everything we can to save her from that situation. We all looked up at the sky as we listened to the sound of cars passing by. We all felt hopeless. We had no idea what to do. Was what we did today going to help Satoko at all? It would have been better if they just kicked us out. That way we could have been angry with them. Yeah, we'd have reason. But after being treated politely like that, we had no choice but to back off and see what they were going to do. We were forced to just wait and see what happens. Everyone was trying to figure out what our next option was. I couldn't expect Chie-sensei to tell us that everything was taken care of at the Board of Education. That'd be too good to be true.
次はどうしような。
I muttered to myself, hoping that someone would respond with a good idea, but the silence reminded me that everyone was just as stuck as me.
圭一。
リカちゃんか。すまん。あれだけでかい口を叩いて、打つ手なしだ。
信じない。
え？
As I looked at her, I realized that the expression on her face, was stronger than ever.
昨日、圭一がシオンに言った。今は思いつかないけど、きっと最前提思いつくから、俺を信じろって言った。だから私は、信じた。だから、圭一の口から、打つ手がないなんて、悲しい言葉が漏れるなんて、信じない。
I could see tears in her eyes. Rika-chan was sure that I could do something about the situation.
圭一が言った。運命なんて、金魚すくいの網より薄く破ってやるって言った。私はそれを信じる。今でも信じてる。だって、あなたは運命なんか、やすやす打ち破ってくれる人なんだもの。だから、助けて。この運命から。さとこ、助けて。
A tear rolled down from the corner of her eye. My heart was feeling the same way. Damn it, damn it, damn it. An innocent girl was becoming a prisoner of a tragic fate. She desperately needed help. I told them that they could trust me. In other words, that they could count on me. That they could bet on me. Betting is not an easy thing. If I lost, then they'd lose their coins too. What does it mean to trust someone? It's about making a bet on that person. It's about betting a coin. It's about betting hope. Trusting someone is tantamount to placing your hopes in them. I told Shion yesterday. I told her to trust me. I didn't say it just because. I knew that those words meant something very serious. But now after betraying Rika-chan and seeing her tears, I finally realized just how serious it is. I looked at Shion, and she was in a rage again. Mion tried to calm her down, but she didn't have any ideas either. How about Rena? She's always very reliable in a situation like this. I expected to see her strength. However, Rena also looked depressed. We didn't even know if what we did was a meaningful thing. Rena looked down with a devastated expression on her face, since she couldn't come up with another option either. Damn it, I have to do something for them. Rena's blue fire will melt iron. Mion can be strong when the wind is in our favor. Shion is the same way. They will move forward strongly when the wind is backing them up, but they grow weak when the wind is blowing against them. Despite the whole situation, Rika-chan still believes in us. She believes that we can do something if we all come together. That's right, we all agreed. We said to each other that we can make a miracle happen if we all work together. What am I? If Rena is the blue fire, I'm the red fire. I burn brightly and give strength to everyone. That's right. I'm Keiichi Maibara. I'm the magician of words. I have to motivate everyone. The blue fire won't light up unless the red fire does too. When the fire is lit, there will be wind. Mion and Shion will become stronger too.
ありがとうな。リカちゃんが火打ち石を叩いてくれた。そして俺という火が燃え上がってきたぜ。
ケイチ。
We can't give up now. We're members of the strongest club ever. Nothing can stop us when we get together.
この俺があの程度でへこむなんて情けないぜ。リカちゃんの言葉で目が覚めた。自分を信じろって言葉がどれだけ重いかってことを教えてもらったぜ。
Rika-chan knew our personalities well, and she figured out just who she should motivate first. Whoa, I'm really starting to burn up.
おい、ミオ、いつまでしょぼくれてやがる。ここは怒り狂うところだぜ。おい。
Everyone looked at me with wide eyes as they turned at my powerful voice. They were both surprised at my sudden shout, and waiting in anticipation at the vigor of my call. More and more clearly I could see it. This was Keiichi Maibara's role in this club.
さっきの対応は客観的に見て、まずは空振りだな。多分レナの言うように、クラスメートが5人来て陳情って程度のメモ書きで終わっちまうんだろう。だからな、ああいう対応をしちまったら、俺たちの怒りに火がついちまうぜ。
確かに木で鼻をくくったような感じだったけど、
俺たちは貞子の緊急の危機を訴えてんだぞ。あの対応はねえだろ。ここは戦うとこだぞ。こんな公園で仲良くしょぼくれてる場合じゃね
え。でもケイチ君、次に私たちは何をしたらいいんだろう。
へへへ。お前らまさかもうこの程度で晩作が尽きたとか思ってんじゃねえだろうな。お前らこれが部活なら全員ビリだぜ。
Huh, this is fun. I was feeling depressed too, but now I've got a burning passion in my heart. I felt like I was cheering myself up. Why was I being so sad? If I wanted to save Satoko, I had no time to rest. This was like the final seconds of the last round in a boxing match, where we were at a disadvantage. If I stand here stupefied, I'll lose my indecision, so the only option is to press the attack. Was I supposed to give up just because I couldn't knock out the opponent with one punch? No. If I couldn't take him out in one, I'd have to throw 2 or 3 punches. I'd have to try until I could finally knock him out.
連打あるのみって、また明日も陳情に行こうってわけですか？
近いけどちょいと甘えな。
何を考えてるんだか知らないけど。なんだかおじさんも面白そうな気がしてきたよ。これで泣き寝入りなんて我がぶらしくもない。この程度の逆風跳ね返してみせなきゃね。
Yes, Mion is getting her willpower back too.
そうだね。圭一君の言う通りだよ。いじけてた自分が恥ずかしい。戦おう。
でもケイちゃん、具体的にはどうしようってわけさ。
みんなもちょいと思い出してみな。あの相談員は俺たちに宣戦布告をしてくれやがったわけだが、多分意識しなかったんだろうけどな。墓穴を掘ってくれたもんだぜ。しかもそいつはどうやら俺の最も得意とする戦術になりそうだぜ。
Well, I'm out of the loop. But that's never surprising. I'm really slow with the ideas here. I do like this music though. The soundtrack for this series is really something. So we have Receptionist's Note and the Bank Book Frustration. The achievement we got is Fire Burning Deep Within. Oh yeah. All right. The Note. Which means more reading. No. Or number, sorry. Date, year, subject about Satoko Hojo-san, visitor Keiichi Maibara, and 4 other friends. They are requesting protection for Satoko Hojo-san to save her from being abused by her uncle. Already being dealt with? I'm cleaning out the refrigerator, so please remove your personal belongings by this evening. What? Huh? What? Okay. Oh, you know what? That's the note from the person that we originally talked to the people in the back. Interesting. Okay. Maybe it wasn't that serious then? They weren't taking it that seriously? Or maybe the receptionist wasn't? I don't know. Then again, the only reason why I can kind of make that sort of connection is because I am a receptionist myself. I am used to writing notes without a care in the world. Teppei suspected, that Satoko was hiding more money somewhere. But in reality, she had none at all. Teppei had asked her how she had survived until now, but she told him that she didn't have to use money or to use any money because she was living with her friend. Teppei had made some money off of illegal gambling. While he had some of that money saved up, he had no intention to use it on living expenses. However, there was no way Satoko didn't have the money. Teppei was convinced of that. Teppei's wife, Satoko's aunt, must have taken away the family bank book when Satoko's parents died in the accident. But her aunt also died last year, and Satoshi is gone too. And that means Satoko should have hidden the bank book somewhere. However, no matter how much she threatened her, she told him that she didn't know anything about it. He continued to question Satoko, still believing that she was hiding it somewhere. He couldn't beat her because her teacher in the child consultation center would suspect him. So he wouldn't beat her. Instead, he spoke to her in a loud and violent voice and broke furniture in front of her. Threatening people like that is Teppei's forte. However, Satoko continued to claim that she had no clue, same thing, about the bank book. She didn't seem to be lying. After destroying the whole living room, leaving Satoko frightened like a scared little animal, Teppei finally believed that Satoko had no idea where the bank book was. In that case, where could it be? Teppei had 2 ideas. One idea was that his wife hid it somewhere in secret. The other idea was that Satoshi took it after his wife's death and hid it somewhere else. Well, I'm not sure about that one, but either way, he was certain that it was hidden somewhere in this house. He told Satoko to clean up the mess that he had made in the living room and started searching around the house. Teppei was starting to get bored with Satoko. He'd heard that Satoko's parents or had a lot of money saved up, but his wife had taken control of that money herself. Since his wife had been quite thrifty, he was sure that she left the bank book somewhere without using it. Once he got his hands on that money, he could move somewhere else entirely. Teppei was still acquainted with a few people from the gambling spot in Gogura. People he used to help out are still hanging around that area. He still owe him. Or they still owe him, sorry. They should at least let him crash there. And it was great that Satoko takes care of all the chores around the house, but Teppei felt uncomfortable about being watched by both the school and the consultation center. Teppei, all too aware that he's a man of violence, couldn't stand living with Satoko without being violent towards her. The more he suffered, the stronger his urge to beat up Satoko grew. What a lovely person. Since Teppei only knew joy through forcing others who resisted to submit, testing to see how violent he could be before the helpless Satoko resisted him was something he was excited to try eventually. Still upset over the visitation by the school teacher, Teppei promised himself that he would destroy Sotoko's life before leaving the village. Why? I don't know. This guy makes no sense to me. Does that make me a good person because I just cannot understand him? I don't know.
食事の時間中に申し訳ない。みんな聞いてくれ。
My classmates looked at me with surprise. I stood at the front of the room and banged on the blackboard. I needed to get their attention.
もちろん、飯を食いながらでいい。俺が話したいのは、クラスメートの北条聡子の件だ。
Everyone went quiet as soon as I brought up her name. They all knew how bad of a situation Satoko was in. Remembering what happened to her last year, they understood how critical it was that she get help as soon as possible. Everyone was thinking they wanted to save Satoko if they could, but they hadn't done anything because they didn't know what they alone could do.
今さら説明の必要もないと思う。知っての通り、聡子はもうこれで3日続けて学校に来てない。おじの野郎に連れ去られて3日目。今日も風邪だと電話してきやがったらしいが、それはありえない。診療所にはこの3日間、聡子が診察に訪れた記録は一切ないからだ。諸君、冷静に考えろ。3日も休むような重い風邪でどうして病院に連れて行かないなんてことがあるのか。
3日も風邪なんてなかなかないよね。インフルエンザだとそれくらいは。でもそんな風邪なら市販の薬では治らない。
The whole class agreed that it was a bit strange. Everyone had been thinking the same thing inside their hearts. However, no one had really come forward and talked about it. And this was a good start.
みんな考えてもみろ。狂犬が売りの聡子だぞ。賞味期限切れの饅頭を食ってもケロッとしてるやつだ。それが前日まであれだけ元気で突然風邪で3日も寝込むだと。そんなことがありえてたまるか。これはもう疑いようがない。聡子が学校へ行けないようにしてるやつがいるからだ。もちろんこの異常な状況を学校は沖宮の生活相談所に連絡済みだ。だが返事は相変わらず現在対応中の一点張り。踏み込んだ質問は全てプライバシー保護でお話しできないの繰り返しだ。諸君はどう思う？この対応は。
レナはおかしいと思う。去年聡子ちゃんのおじさんとおばさんがどんな仕打ちをしていたか私たちが一番よく知っている。それにそもそも聡子ちゃんはリカちゃんと2人で仲良く暮らしていた。それを無理やり連れ戻して友達の誰にも会わせず先生にすら会わせないなんておかしいと思う。
The sight of Rena letting her emotions speak for her, when she was normally so quiet, demonstrated most of all just how dire the situation was. Rena brought an intensity to this that I couldn't, since I often yelled and shouted about things.
このような異常な状況を俺たちは放置するのか。聡子は仲間だ。クラスメートだ。俺たちはこの四角い一辺が8メートルもない狭い部屋で春夏秋冬の全てを過ごし、家族と言っても差し支えない時間を共に過ごしている。共に学んだ、共に遊んだ、共に飯を食い、 時には喧嘩をしたりした。過ごす時間は劣ってもその濃密な関係は家族にも勝る。そんな第二の家族の危機を俺たちは見過ごせるのか。見過ごせる、見殺せるってやつは挙手をしてみろ。いないな。いるわけないんだ。聡子を見殺しにするな。助けるんだ、俺たちが。
Oh, we got some muttering. The class was filled with commotion, which is exactly what I was looking for. The louder I talked, the louder my classmates got. They were getting all fired up. The more I let my true colors show, the greater everyone's emotions became as well.
そして我が部はすでに動き始めている。聡子を救うためにはどうすればいいかを調べ、すでに行動を開始しているのだ。富田君、それがわかるか。
いえ、わかりません。
よし、ならばその作戦を教えてやる。いや何、法律に逆らおうってんじゃない。むしろ法律に従ってちゃんとルールにのっとって戦おうってんだ。世の中実は正攻法ほど効くものはない。裏技ってのは奇襲的で効果がありそうに感じるが、そんなのはびっくり箱なんかと同じ安っぽいもんだ。本当の正攻法ってのはな、何でもぶち抜くぞ。
うん、空手なんかでも最も威力があるのは正拳突きだって聞いたことがある。愚直でシンプルな正攻法が最も威力があるのは力学をちょいと考えれば当然のことなんだよね。だって私たちは聡子を助けるために正しいことをしています。裏からこそこそ行く必要なんてない。正面から堂々と乗り込んで倒す。
倒すって。
いいことを言うな岡村君。確かにこいつは喧嘩だ。だがな、殴り合おうってんじゃないぞ。ちゃんとルールにのっとった正しい喧嘩なんだ。その前にまず聡子を救うにはどうすればいいのかという最初の話に戻ろう。現状はこうだ。聡子がいる。叔父がそれを監禁している。一昨日の時点では聡子に外傷がなかったと相談所が言ってるが、昨日今日で虐待を受けていない保証にはならないぞ。
Besides, preventing her from going to school is already child abuse. Check this out. This is a brochure that Mion brought from the Child Consultation Center. It's written clearly in here. Keeping a child away from school is abuse. On top of that, her uncle left Satoko on her own for a year. That's considered neglect. Neglect also counts as abuse. However, the Child Consultation Center didn't even take that into consideration. They ignored the fact that he neglected her for 1 year, and they believe that she hasn't come to school because she's sick. They concluded that Satoko is not being abused because she had no obvious injuries at that point. What do all of you think?
前原さん、これは明白な問題です。たとえ北条はそう言っていなくとも問題が起きていないという根拠にはなり得ません。
僕もそう思います。どうしてこれで虐待だと認定されないんですか？
ミオンから聞いた内部の情報によると、虐待かどうかを判断するには2日3日程度の時間では足りないって言うんだ。虐待というのはもっと何年とか何ヶ月とか恒常的に続いて初めてそうだと認定するものらしい。そこを慎重に見極めないといけないんだそうだ。これをどう思う？聡子を数ヶ月間もほったらかしにしようという判断が果たして慎重な判断と言えるのか？
言えない！言えない！
そうだ、言えるわけがない。相談所には聡子の置かれている危機感が伝わっていない。去年の聡子がどういう状況だったかが理解できていないんだ。だから様子見なんてのんびりしたことが言えるんだ。ならばどうする富田君？
はい、問題となるのは生活相談所側の認識の甘さだと思います。これについて事情をよく知る人間が説明する必要があると思います。
うん、児童相談所の人が慎重に対応したいというのは平均的に見たら普通の対応なのかもしれない。でもそれは聡子ちゃんには当てはまらない。おじさんは去年も聡子ちゃんをいじめてた。おばさんとの夫婦喧嘩の八つ当たりをしていた。しかもそのおばさんが死んだ後はたった一人残された聡子ちゃんを放り出して蒸発してしまった。
しかもだ、そいつは沖宮の別宅に転がり込むためだったとの情報をキャッチしてるんだよ。その間残された聡子はどうしてた？たまたまリカちゃんが一緒に住もうと申し出てくれたからいい。もしリカちゃんがいなかったらたった一人で生きていかなくちゃならなかった。
しかもだ、ひなみ沢に戻ってきた理由もその同居していた女が蒸発したかららしい。要するに捨てられたんだな。それでのこのこひなみ沢に戻ってきて聡子を無理やり連れ戻したってのはどう思う？しかも近所からは聡子が洗濯物を干しているところなどの目撃がある。つまりおじの野郎が聡子を連れ戻した理由はただ一つ、てめえの家事を押し付けるためだけなんだ。
そんなの人として許せないです。この教室の中で1年も沖宮の別宅で好き勝手に暮らしてて、捨てられたからってひょっこり帰ってきて威張り腐ってるやつを親なんて思う人いる？
いません、いません。
そうだ、そんなやつは親じゃねえ。だが相談所はやつを親権者だと呼ぶ。親権を取り消すには家庭裁判所に訴えなければならないなんてのんびりしたことを言いやがる。親かどうかを決めるのは誰だ？裁判所じゃねえだろ。人としての常識が決めるんだ。だから言ってくるぞ、奴は聡子の親じゃねえ。そしてそれをはっきりと児童相談所に説明する必要があるんだ。
公的機関の中で聡子が実際に暴力を振るわれる前に助けることができるのは児童相談所のみ。警察は事件にならないと助けてくれないよ。事件になるまで聡子を見殺しになんてできる？
刺して見殺しになんてできない。だから俺たちはすでに立ち上がった。昨日俺たち部活メンバーはすでに沖宮の生活相談所に突撃した。そして連中は記録にこう書いた。北条聡子の件についてクラスメート5人から陳情ありってな。どういうことかわかるか？5人じゃ足りねえ。お前ら仲間を救うために力を貸せ。
Ah, that's pretty smart.
いいか惜しむな。人間が生きてる間にどれだけ人のために一肌脱げるチャンスがあるってんだ。ここでやらなかったら男じゃねえ、仲間じゃねえ。戦い方は簡単だ。ただ俺の背中を守ってくれればいい。矢面には俺が立つ。部活メンバーが全火力を受け持つ。ただ俺たちの背中を守ってくれればいい。それだけじゃ我慢がならなきゃ吠えろ。Hinamizawa文庫のスピリッツってやつを思い知らせてやれ。
前原君、これは。
Chie Sensei looked into the classroom, the commotion having attracted her attention. As soon as she tried to step inside the class, someone behind her stopped her.
校長先生。
千恵先生、お茶が飲みたいですな。入れてはくれませんかな。
It was a clear display of his intent not to disrupt Keiichi's speech.
いいんですか？クラスには小さな子供もたくさんいます。もしもみんなで沖宮の相談所に押しかけようなんてことになったら保護者の方に。
知恵、
古出さん、これはどういうことなんですか？
みんなが聡子を助けるために頑張ろうとしてくれているのです。私は無力だからみんなの力を借りないと何もできない。でもそれを阻止しようとする知恵を食い止めるくらいはできる。
Chie had never seen Rika staring at her with an expression like that. She was surprised to see Rika looking so determined.
何を止める理由があるというのか。
校長先生。
大いに結構。やれるところまでやってみなさい。それで責任を求められるなら、不詳この海枝が全て責任を取る。
What a cool guy. The principal pounded his own chest. Why did it make that noise? Did he just break ribs? Chie Sensei couldn't object any longer.
わかりました。くれぐれも怪我人など出さないように。ルールとマナーを絶対に守ること。約束ですよ。
二人ともありがとうなのです。
千恵先生、よく思いとどまりましたな。
この年をして
生徒には教えられることばかりです。よし、覚悟を決めました。教え子は私の娘も同じ。娘をかばわぬ母はなし。
よし、みんな今日の学校が終わったら各自速攻で帰宅し、自転車で沖宮の図書館に集合だ。そこの1階奥が相談所になっている。
お待ちなさい。知恵先生。
先生、まさか俺たちを止めるつもりですか？
とんでもない。あなたたちの意志の強さはよくわかりました。社会のルールにちゃんとのっとって戦うなら、先生もみんなを支持します。皆さんがちゃんとお行儀よくするか、先生も同行します。よろしいですね。
Thing is, it actually might help if she's there. Alright, alright. Here we go, here we go. We're all getting fired up. I'm curious to see how this all goes here. We headed for the library as soon as we got back home from school. I'd expected that few kids wouldn't show up, but surprisingly, everyone came along. I could tell just how driven they were. It was so encouraging to have Chie-sensei there with us. I had to admit, I had been feeling a bit guilty for dragging everyone to the consultation center. But as long as Chie-sensei was with us, I didn't need to feel that guilt. Yeah, she can.
前原さん、窓口までお越しください。
Alright, we're gonna save it here, because, we're back here probably for a whole bunch more of dialogue, trying to figure out, what can be done, probably a whole bunch of roundabout shit again. But I'm very curious to see, now that we have an entire group here, see what can be done. I think that's going to be very surprising and exciting. Maybe, or at least I hope. Hopefully something comes of this. So, thank you all for watching this episode. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take it easy.